There's a beautiful day headed your way. Keep your head up, up, up. You'll be okay. A beautiful day waiting for you. Just open your eyes. You'll see it's true. Good times, sunshine. Gonna be here in no time now. Bad times, gray skies. Push them all away, turn them upside down. You're gonna break new ground. Turn everything around. You're gonna live your life. There's a beautiful day headed your way. Keep your head up, up, up. You'll be okay. Beautiful day waiting for you. Just open your eyes. You'll see it's true. A beautiful day.
Howdy, welcome back to the Booga Box live stream. It's Thursday, so it's a large project Thursday. Working on our inlay tonight, the Chris Jones inlay, Kansas City Chiefs player. Hope everybody's having a good Thursday. Since you're just getting here, don't forget to give the like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Find us on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. We stream Mondays, Wednesday, Thursday. Try to go through that real quick. But I do thank everybody for joining us tonight. Like I said, if it's live or if you're watching us later, I do appreciate it. Not much really else to kind of go into right off the bat here other than getting into doing some chainmail. I'm ready to work on this some more. So let's go ahead and let's get our transition over to the top camera. And then we'll try to get some maybe volume play. Try to get some background music going. If it'll play through, we'll see what happens. But so, well, I guess real quick too. Let me I can pull out the picture. We're right in here. We're going to start coming into some areas of his eyebrow coming in here pretty soon. But that's what we're going for. Was hoping to get more done. I actually went to work on it today and come over here, sat down, and got ready to go, and I was like, oh man, I meant to clean black rings last night. So at that point I got up and started cleaning the rings, and it take a good hour and a half to dry. So I had to wait for all that, and I got a little bit done. I got about, I don't know, I'd probably say about 35 minutes in. And went and was cleaning up the kitchen, came back, and I started looking at it going, something seemed a little weird on the past line up here. And so I was looking through, I was double checking everything, and after about 10 minutes I finally found out I had one screwed up ring that kind of threw everything else off. I ended up having two dark roses in place where I was supposed to have one. And so it kind of, and I do remember at the end of that line, I was off by one, but when it's in the mix out here, it's not that big of a deal. But when I started tracing it back, it was going to be in there, so I had to go back and fix it, and that took me about another 20-30 minutes to fix it. But it got back to normal, so that's where that is at. We're going to try to get in. We're on finishing up, well, we're not even quite halfway, I guess, through line 20. And I believe there's 96 lines in this piece, so we're gonna be coming up on a quarter of the way here pretty soon. I haven't gotten anything, like I said, any work done on it till today for a little bit, since the 2 Thursdays ago. Last Thursday it was put up so I could get ready for our event last weekend. So it was nice to finally be able to pull it out today, and I had to, well, and in the process of getting out the black rings, to get them cleaned up, it was in the order that I hadn't unpacked yet. So I had to also go through and verify everything was there and check to make sure the order was right. And so I had that to do along with that. I mean, none of those were really, most of it was parts of 2 different inlays. This one other one, I guess 3 in total, between them all. and a few other odds and ends, but I still gonna have to place another order here somewhat soon when they get in some other color rings that I'm waiting on. Some that were what was causing part of this last shipment to get stuck because they were out of. It's like I need the other stuff. I can, before you couldn't order. And that's one other thing I'm getting a little disappointed with TRL is that you used to be able to have a little thing right there. If they were out, you could put in your email, and you got an email as soon as it came back into stock. And I can't figure out if they have something similar that I can't find or not, but now it's a constant go check, go check, go check, go check. And that's why I'm looking for different suppliers. Chain Reactions was good. I'm going to be getting some of their color. They don't have a whole lot yet. We've already gotten some. We've got mail. A few hyperlinks. When it comes to anodized aluminum, I got a good chunk of Chainmail Joe. I always buy a little half-pound of Chainmail Joe stuff. The anodized stuff, I haven't bought any of his bright aluminum in forever. But the colored aluminum is getting pretty good. It's not shiny, but it's not like a full-on matte either. But I kind of like it, so it can work for things. So that's why I kind of like having them too. So it's just a matter of problem with TRL. Again, I say it before and say it again, but they've kind of got a stranglehold because of their color selection, how many different ring sizes they have, how many colors they have, which is good, don't get me wrong. I just wish they, I miss John and Bernice over there running it. I mean, they still had some times where, things were down, but I mean, that's going to happen. But I like the old website so much better. But all of them are like that anymore. I mean, when I'm in Chain Reactions, if I'm at, not Hyperlinks, you have to end up going to the Bead Lady or something, place else to get theirs. And we've got mail, it's a pain in the butt, in all honesty, to make any orders at any of those places. And that's what I loved about TRL. It's so simple, so quick. When you know what you want, you can just go there, especially when you had all your sizes listed. And that's how I made my list of stuff I needed. I started, with 12 gauge. If they had any of this is what I wanted. 14 gauge. If they have any of this is what I need. Same with 16, 18, 20. And then you just went there. It was easy. I miss it. I miss it so much. I know they're not going to change back, but if I'm going to have to do that kind of a headache to order for inlays, then I might as well find some place that can give me what I need. But, I did get the desk finally fully straightened up today. It took me, finished up bracelet last night. I got a few pictures this morning. When I got half the desk cleaned up, went through, cleaned up some more. This weekend, though, I do plan on trying to really get a good push on getting the tutorial done for the wormhole cube. I'm ready to get that out there, and I'm probably going to be doing some updates to the website too. Some things I've been wanting to do, I've been putting off. I just hadn't had the time. Now that I've got less band stuff going on, and I'm assuming I'm not going to need to have to worry about the band website anymore because it expires tonight at midnight, and they have not contacted me again. I let them know it expires a couple different times. I think they were supposed to have a meeting, but haven't heard anything. So, I backed up everything in case they need anything from it. But otherwise, and it's not hard to run, but there's a lot of things every year that need to, new presidents come in, and that was always one thing I tell the new presidents coming in. The band parent website for the band for you all is whatever you guys want it to be. I'll create it and do whatever, and I've rebuilt it 3 or 4 times, three major times, and probably a handful of minor changes within the platform through those years. But it's always whatever you guys want to do. If you don't want to run it, that's perfectly fine too. So I mean, that'd be one less thing to run, which again would suck, because I do like having that available for the band alumni, because I also have the alumni stuff through there, so that people can sign up and get emails from me whenever I try to get out at least once a year, letting them know of events that are coming up for that year and whatnot. And it was nice to have that through the website, but if they don't want to have it, like I said, no biggie to me. I was asked to run it. It's not something I did and asked them to pay me for and all that. I ran it for free. They paid for the server cost, but because they had a band parent at one point that was running it, and he was moving on because his kid graduated, and they knew I ran my own websites and stuff, so they asked me if I'd continue it, so I did. Like I said, I always let them know whatever you guys want to do, I'm good with. Just let me know. So if you don't let me know, not much else I can do about that either. So kind of like, with the pictures, like I said, I'm kind of stopping a lot of things, but I'm still going to do some. They want to have pictures lined up, individual pictures, and I'll probably end up doing a group picture again. But if they find somebody else that wants to do it, have at it. I mean, I was just helping out because I was asked to again. It's not something I look for asking to do to make money off of or anything like that. So just try to help out. I don't know if they'll want to do the Tumblr fundraiser this year either. That's kind of, again, I don't know. By now, this time of the year, before Bandcamp starts, any new president that's moved in, I've normally been in contact with. We've actually had a meetup or two, and then several emails, so I get the idea of what they're wanting to do, so that I can help promote that. But and I could never get a hold of the new president this year. I tried to do it for, that's why through June I was like, okay, we need to get this stuff going. Didn't hear back, and they could be great people. I'm not sure, but I've never really met them to talk with them. So, but that didn't really have any play to do. I mean, maybe a little bit of play on why I wanted to move on, but I mean, I've dealt with different band parents through the years. Some have been really easy and great to work with. Some haven't been. I mean, everybody's different. So, all right, time to count rings again. I hate this part. It's always the bummer. So that's why I need a machine that can do this for me. Little conveyor belt that'll just put out rings, and when I grab it, it moves down, gives me a new one. I need to contact somebody like in the robotics at one of the high schools. Say, hey, let's build me a robot that can sort rings, put them on a conveyor belt, and I can just weave and weave and weave and not have to worry about it. That would be sweet. Kind of like I do have this idea in my head that I would so love. And now I might have to, I mean, John doesn't come to too many of my streams anymore, but he did get a machinist lathe and stuff, and so he could machine out some parts. I got some idea I want to try. Make sure I'm in the right place here. But I need some machine parts, and I want to be. If I take a design to somebody to do it, they're just gonna give me that cut. I need to talk to somebody that, not necessarily giving out the whole idea of what I'm doing, but I can bounce the idea of off what I'm looking for in a way, and and then you'd have the parts to be able to make it for me anyway. But I've got an idea. I have no idea if it'll work. It's something I've been thinking of for the last couple of years. I want to kind of give it a. It's more on the manufacturing side of things. And it would more help with when I'm doing my own rings and whatnot, but it's still something I've had a thought of, and I would like to see if it can possibly work. But we need some pieces machined. I wish I had my own machine shop like that to do that kind of thing. take some learning. I've never really messed with any of that stuff, but it would be sweet to have and be able to do. I mean, I'm sure I could figure it out. I do with everything else. I'll learn it if I need to learn it. Alright. Hopefully we can get the rest of this down on this last row and not have to come back and do another count for this row. Oh, my black's double stuck. Because I got more on another page. I just don't know how many more is on the next page. And there's not a lot left. I mean, looking here, under a third probably. Dark rings. Oh, these double stucks, man. Let's see how many more we got on here. Oh, there's just a few, so that's not bad. It's going to be a dark rose 1. Black. Oh, that was like a quadruple stuck. Dark rose. I'm going to grab 2 because I think it's going to be a black and then a dark rose. Yeah. I figured it's kind of alternating and then right in there. So I'll move my chart here. Get that. We're on page 3 now. 3 of 10. I don't think it's full on page 10 though. Page 1. Yeah, it's only about half of page 10, so. Alrighty, back to bending, weaving. I had some fun last night doing I had done, well, and I found it in my book, but I couldn't find any pieces on my, in my bracelet box for the bee stings that we did last night. And when I started looking for pictures on my computer, now it could have been when I lost the pictures, when I lost my hard drive several years ago. I lost a ton of pictures, blah blah blah. I've talked about it before, one of the things that fully got recovered was my whole bracelet picture file, and within there was no bee stings. And so I'm like, I know I've done it. I had it in my book. So I guess maybe I've just done a couple of them and I sold them and didn't realize it. But yeah, I didn't have any in stock. I didn't realize it. And couldn't find pictures. So I did post pictures of that today. I want to do a few more now. And I want to try a different size. But actually, I'm going to be working on a 3/32 seconds ring size JPL 3. Be a pretty small piece. I mean, I've worked with those ring sizes before on a few things, but not for a little tiny bracelet per se. So normally it's been in little things that I do, like with my chain ends or something like that, where it's a little add-on piece to it or something like that. I'll use the little ones for, like the goggles or whatnot. But I plan on doing that. I got the rings out for it because I'm still got the one custom order. I'm still trying to finalize with them, seeing exactly what they want, because what they originally wanted they can't do because ring lore doesn't have the color, which is kind of weird. But yeah, they don't have 5/32 square 18 gauge dark rose. That was kind of a surprise for me. I thought I had some before, but I didn't have any in my boxes below. I didn't have any on my stock board. So I was like, well, I looked online, but I can't trust their website. Like I said, with the changes they've doing, I don't know if it's totally accurate. So that part I'm not sure about. Well, she did. The cat, Marble, last night, she didn't want to eat. And sometimes I don't know why, but she hadn't eaten any hard food. She didn't want to eat her soft food. Tried it two different times, didn't want to. This morning she didn't want to eat again, but she had eaten some hard food overnight. But then I gave her, I was like, she's getting a little more picky, I guess, because I opened a different flavor and she went to town on it. So hopefully she'll do that again tonight. But how far are we in? We're 20 minutes in. I'm not going to put in the links right now. Hopefully, maybe if I remember at the end, but go over and check out. I know Sean White, I guess, has been having computer problems over at Mailworks, so he hasn't been streaming lately. But still go over and check out Mailworks. Chain Reaction Canada jump rings. That's who I've been talking about lately. I've got some samples from them. I've got some other samples I'm still waiting on from a few other places, and some other stuff that I've gotten before. I've got a few Chainmail Joe stuff coming and whatnot. But also Bracken Mail. He has done a couple streams. He did one early this morning talking about the fires that are out there in California, because they're kind of in the mix of it out there. But hopefully those fires will get tamed down and stuff, and he can get back to doing his normal streaming. It was good to see him back the other day streaming. And since today is Thursday, it will be our last day of the week to stream. Now I'm going to probably wait till after Christmas and decide if I might change up our streaming schedule. But the reason I have it set up the way it is currently is because of the band stuff, and now without doing that, I'll have more time that I could. Other than the weekend stuff, I don't want to fly over that, so Friday, Saturday might still be off, but Tuesday could come into play, because there might be a few Tuesdays I'm going to go do the pictures on a Tuesday. But after the new year, I don't know, I'm going to rethink it, see what's going on, and make any changes. If you guys have any suggestions on something you'd like to see, I know some other people have talked about it before, which I think would be really cool to have interviews during some streams and whatnot with other mailers, which I think would be cool. I wouldn't want to do it personally because I suck at conversation, other than when I talk to myself, and it only makes sense to myself sometimes. Okay, most of the time it only makes sense to me, but yeah, that'd be cool. But I mean, if you think, Monday night we did flip it up, and we ended up doing a custom order that night. Well, I worked on custom orders all day, but we just ended up keeping going in the stream. So, if you ever do want a custom order or something built, and you want it to be built during a stream, let me know. We can chat about it. And anything you see on Facebook that's not on my website, drop me a line. There are plenty of things that I still don't have listed on my website. Mostly here recently, just because I'm trying to do some things and didn't know if I'm going to change platforms. If you've watched enough streams, you know I'm very indecisive. I would suck in pressure situations. That's not my forte. But, I mean, I guess some. It just kind of depends. But, yeah, I don't know if I want to change or not yet. There are aspects of it I do like, aspects I don't. Certain issues I was having that I do think I've already cleared up, though, on the current site. Because I had some people having PayPal issues, but I think I have that fixed. I do need to... I've tested again myself. I wasn't having a problem personally, so that's what kind of sucked when I couldn't recreate the problem. But it was more than one person, so it's multiple people. But I do think I've figured that out with the current system, which makes me almost not want to change, because if I do, it's going to be work. But could be a good thing. It's been a couple years since I've made any major changes to it. And, I mean, things change in a couple years, and, I I know a few people use the phones to do their ordering through my website, but I've never actually looked at my website through my phone, to be honest with you. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, I don't think I've ever actually looked. So, we're about done with this here line. But why am I off count here? -1. So this is kind of what happened last time up here, and I bypassed it, and I should have looked earlier, and it probably would have been a quicker fix, but we're going to kind of give a quick look. We should be on that row coming across. We got these two here and the whites. And then right on the other side. One, 2. Okay, that's what it was. Okay, it was in the outside, so it's not that big of a thing. It was in the outside graph here. I was supposed to have 2 there. So what I'm going to do is just add an extra opposite at the end of this row. So I don't know why I did that again, and I'm having that problem lately. I mean, I did it this time on stream, but earlier I wasn't streaming, so I can't say streaming was the excuse. Just me not paying attention, I guess. Like I said, at least it was a somewhat thing. If it would have been further back here, we would have to shift every ring over. Was what I had to do here before, because it was right up in there. So, alright, row 20 is done. Now on to row 21. If I can count, that is. If I can figure out how to do counting. Oh, I need my pencil though. I'm on a different page. Oh, crap, where did my pencil go? Well, I guess I can use a pen. Because this one goes backwards. I mark on here the arrows so I know which way I'm working with them. Because on my paper, I've thought about it, but I'm afraid I might screw something up. But I got to make sure I work backwards on the row I'm getting ready to work on, because we're working this way and back. So I got to make sure to go backwards on it. Oh, these stuck ones. Oh, they drive me nuts, man. Alright. Dark rose 1. Let's go ahead and pull this guy out. Okay. Dark rose 2. Black 1. Dark rose 1. Black 1. Dark rose 1. Black 1. Like I said, right here in this outside where it's a blur kind of set up, just one. On occasion, you might have a double, like they had 2 double little pinks, dark rows on that row before that I skipped. Dark eyes, black eyes, dark rows, black. Oh, my phone's not stopping. Should be security. Normal security normally only beeps at me about once every 10 minutes if I don't look at it. But last time I went and got up and looked at it, it was nonsense anyway, so at least during the stream. 2, 3, 4. God. Like this. Checking around. How's everything going? Okay. Well, I guess we are about the halfway point, so I should go through and say thank you all again for joining us. If you're watching us live or if you're watching us later, I do appreciate it. I try to do something at the halfway point to say thank you in case somebody's skipping around and or somebody might have joined, or you never know. But again, don't forget to give the thumbs up, the likes, and all that good stuff on whatever platform you might be watching us, Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook. All those give us more views on other people's walls. 7. I'm going to stop on that one for sure. So that's going to use a lot of room over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I got pulled out 7, even though they were all stuck together. Alrighty, so let's get started on this row at our 30-minute mark. So we should be able to probably finish this row up. Should be able to. It's been taking us about 25 minutes on stream, as long as I don't get too distracted or if I don't screw up, I guess. This should be the bigger question. How many times will he screw up on this line? Bets taking now. 3-1 odds, 4-1 odds. What color will it be? Here lately it's been the average of the dark rose has been the culprit for the last 2 times. Will it be this time? Find out next. I'm losing my mind. Welcome to the Crazy Person channel. I am a little tired though. I have been going to bed early and waking up earlier, so I'm more tired at this point in the night anymore, which is a little weird, but you know, bug. I don't mind it too much, but normally my brain can think better at night, and now it seems like when I'm busier during the day, I have thoughts, but I never have enough time to sit down and play with those thoughts. So it's kind of been a little bit of a bummer too. But you know, I will say I've been at least sleeping more than 6 hours a night. The minimum has been 6 since Monday, Monday I guess. Yeah, maybe it does have something to touch. Maybe I was having all last week. I was having a hard time sleeping. Maybe it's because it was the more and more I was thinking about stopping the band stuff. I know there was a lot of times I was thinking about that, so it probably did keep me up some of those nights. Because then, you know, it's a little, like I said, it was a little nerve-wracking in a way. It was something I don't want to stop doing, but it's something I probably need to stop doing. So it kind of had me there on the fence for a while. Like I said, I've been thinking about it for almost 2 months. So they went on their band trip at the first week of June. I wanted to wait till after they got back. New band parents taking over and the board members. I figured we'd start dealing with that, and then that kind of, like I said, didn't start happening. And so things started kind of, well, maybe this is it, time to move on if I'm not going to be able to, you know. With everything else, like I said, it was mostly everything else, and then I think that was just kind of, I don't want to say that what pushed me over the edge, because that makes it sound bad, and it's nothing like that. I mean, it was just, you know, yeah, I mean, I don't know a better way of actually saying it than putting it that way. I mean, it wasn't something that pushed me over the edge, but I mean, it was not the final straw, but in a way it kind of was. It was just like, well, you know, I'm already leaning this way already, you know. If I don't have to do the website, they're not going to want to continue it. That helps, you know, push me a little bit more that way. And a bit, I mean, not being able to talk to them is, you know, kind of dead too, but it is what it is, like I said. I had fun. I did it for full bore for 15 years. 3 years before that, it was like, I was doing the same thing, just not on mass production scale per se. And then for 3 years before that, it was more home video stuff that I didn't necessarily put fully together, but it was the first experimentals of getting into it. But that was actually back in the day of using a whole old high 8 video camera, and I had to use a old VCR. They had the converter thing that you put the tape in, and then had to convert it over through the computer. It was crazy back in those days. So, I mean, DVDs, though, in a way, are probably kind of a little obsolete. You know, I could have gone Blu-ray, and it probably could have had more stuff, but does everybody have a Blu-ray player now? In all reality, we kind of do in the house, but we don't. In the living room, we don't have a Blu-ray player. Everything's just streamed. I have a Blu-ray player within my PlayStation. The boy does. The daughter does. So that's one reason why I never did go into doing them in Blu-ray, but now everybody is into streaming. So I guess the next step's going to be if anybody wants to take over the YouTube channel for the band that I've been doing for, that's been 12 years now for sure. Because at first I did a lot of stuff on Facebook for them, and then I kind of started making up the channel, and I still run the Staley Band channel too. Nobody wanted to take it over, so. And I was still posting a few things a year to them. I normally got them at contests, and I normally got them at the North Kansas City Marching Festival. I was able to get all the district bands, so I was still posting a few things to their stuff every year. That will probably go away too. Maybe contests. It depends on when they play at contests, I guess. Because if I still go, because I don't go, I mean, it's good to hear the band I want to go for, but, you know, I do, that's why I like competitions. I can go watch them march or watch other bands too. And same with contests, just got to hear a lot of different bands, and which is cool. I mean, every band's different, so. I talk about it a lot. Like I said, I'm probably going to miss it. I am still thinking about it every day, going, man, because tomorrow night's the family showcase. I haven't missed the family showcase, like I said, and would be 15 years, 16 years. So it's going to be a little strange not being there tomorrow night. Yeah. I'm seeing others. Well, I will say one good thing I like about it. The past many years that I've done a lot of this, not a lot of other parents had the time to come to band camp and get the pictures of them out there on the field doing the stuff during band camp. So that was one reason why I like to go, to get that stuff. When I first started helping out with band camps, they used to actually run the concession stand for the band kids, had hot dogs and stuff, so they didn't have to leave school during lunchtime if they wanted. So I was there anyway, and I started doing the pictures, and there was a few years there when I was doing both schools that I had a lot less time at either, especially Tonka at the time. And not a lot, I mean, parents were still doing pictures, but they weren't like posting them up as much and stuff. But I'm finding that this year, it does seem like more parents are up there helping out during the day. I know one of the board members is actually a school teacher in the school district, so they're not currently, you know, full-time working right now, so they can get up there. And it's good to see the pictures that others are out there doing, that it seemed like for a while that none of them were doing. And again, that's one of the things what I'm saying. I think the band's going better, starting to go. It was riding high, let's say, and then it went down a big steep curve, and it kind of came up with a little bumpage, and I see the bumpage starting to come back up now. I think things are going to go well. There for years I was unsure, but I think things are going to start going better now. So, I mean, that makes me feel good. But also, it's like, man, when they're doing good, don't you want to be there for the good times, too? Because I was there for a lot of crazy bad time years. But, again, I keep talking about, like I said, I need to shut up. just is part of what I've done for so long. I've honestly, like I said, I just don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I'm going to have to figure something out. I'm sure I will, but it's just going to be a little weird and hard for a little bit. But I bet you anything, by the time mid-October gets here, I'll probably be glad that I didn't, because I'll be a lot more rested. And I looked at shows yesterday and today. So, I mean, as it stands now, I'm kind of looking at a show at the end of September, and the first week of October is another possibility of a show. The one I want to go to, Gladfest. And then there's another one near the end of October. So, if I might end up getting 3 shows in where I normally don't do any. There was a few years that I did one of these shows, but it was a pain in the butt when I was doing band stuff, because I ended up leaving to go help with the band real quick and come back. It was back and forth. So, I'm kind of... It'll be hard and busy doing events, but it is for the business. So, I mean, the biggest thing will have to be if my daughter will be able to help me out. So I'm going to have to plan some days and sit with her and say, hey, can you help me out these days coming up on this and this, that? These are events that I could possibly do. I got to have a helper. I cannot do it all myself. It would take way too long. And then when you're in an event and you can't leave your booth, that's, you got to have a helper. At least one. Sometimes it's nice to have it maybe people it used to be my wife would help me out, daughter would come out, help a little bit, and then she'd wander and go do her thing and then come back later and help. Now my wife can't do so much, so it's definitely going to be more my daughter or somebody else. I don't necessarily make enough where I can pay somebody. It would be nice if I could hire a helper. I would love to be able to do that, and maybe someday that will happen, but I just can't do that right now. Alright, I gotta count out some more rings again. Golly darn it. Okay. And just pull just stay up there. I don't want to be chasing pennies. Bronze. So we must be getting into the forehead part here. And black eyes. Bronze. And a bunch of stuckies. Bronze one. Champagne one. Rose one. Rose one. Champagne one. I'm saying them out loud, so hopefully I don't screw it up. Black eyes one. It's a big old stuck group. 4 on 1 there. It's trying to weave itself. Wish that could happen more often. Now if you could learn to close yourself. Now what did I say? 1? Okay, yeah. Champagne 1. The cat opened the door. It got a little warm in here. Maybe the air conditioner's not running right this second. That'll happen, or it feels warmer when the air conditioner shuts off, obviously. But sometimes there it gets extended by the right before it starts coming back on. It's like, boy, it's starting to get a little warm. Champagne in this row. Oh, I'm not using a whole lot of champagne for the whole project, but this one's definitely got some in this row. It's like every other one, champagne. Champagne. So I have to say it so I can spell it right. Champagne. And I'm glad I don't like alcohol that much where I go and order it, because I'd hate to go someplace and it's all fancy dancy and you need to order champagne and I'd be like, I need some champagne. Because that's something I would do by not thinking about it, and I would be asking for it in my own crazy, weird vernacular. Sometimes I do a little wackadoo. And the wife would probably say I get a lot wackadoo, a lot. I think it's just a little. But yeah, I'm sure she would say it's a lot. But we will have to agree to whatever I say, right? Yeah, no, like that would work. Yeah. Am I missing any comments? I haven't looked, and I've been counting here real quick. We're 42, 43 minutes. Black eyes. If I can get a few more in this here, I might be able to finish up on the last row and get them all on the table. Put them closer together, but when I do put them closer together and I have a longer row, I have to be a lot more careful of not hitting the row and screwing it up. I have done that where I've come across, slid across it and hit them, and then had to stop and go back through and get them back in the right order. Pygmy. I don't want to go too much further. Dark rose. I think that's where I'm going to call it. I probably went further than I absolutely even needed to, but because on paper I only got one more row, and there's really not, well, there's a few doubles and triples, but not a lot, so I probably went further than I needed to, but oh well. We'll be able to get 15 minutes left. And we'll see how long this takes us to do what we just pulled out here. I know how long it normally takes on average, but I don't even know how many rings I just pulled out, so I mean, there's probably, what, 40-ish rings here? I don't know. Probably more than that. Like I said, just pull them out, and leave them. I don't count them until later. Well, I guess I do have counts overall, but not for what I'm pulling out at any given time for doing this. But I do want to get this going pretty good. I do plan on giving it some good work this weekend too, but like I said, I do have some plans over the weekend. Getting some other stuff done for the wormhole cube. So it will take a little bit of priority. I want to get it because I do want to release this. I've got the other tutorial for the dream catcher-ish wall hangings that I do without a center spacer, a king head or whatever you want to call it. Something I did several years ago. Several people were talking to me about it, and so I put together a tutorial for it because it is, I guess, a lot of people do dreamcatcher style tutorials. I didn't necessarily want to do one because a lot of people do them, but the few people that I was talking to, one person had bought one of them and then realized it was a lot different than the ones that they had made and seen, and was contacting me about it. And another, actually it's a friend, Tara and Bobby, who's helped me with a few of my last tutorials, helping clean up my misspellings, blah blah blah, because I'm horrible at that. She had seen him and was like, man, you need to do a tutorial for that because it's so different than the rest of them out there. I mean, and she had bought several of the tutorials for the wall hangings and stuff like that. She goes, yours is just a lot different than the others. So we worked that up, and I've had it for a while. I just got so busy I forgot about it. Plus, like I said, I was having issues with the website, and I wanted to fix that first. So hopefully most of that's fixed and done now, and not having any issues, hopefully. Other than, I do still have an issue. I have to make sure I put certain, whenever I upload pictures, I have to make sure I've downsized them to I would call it a medium grade, because my camera takes rather large pixel size, 6800 by whatever, it's huge. And the website doesn't like anything nearly that huge. If I go down to half, it still has an issue. So I have to really remember to go and bring that. I always have a file that I name within my other file called resize. And it is a pain in the butt. I do it as a batch file anymore on changing them. But I just got to remember to be able to do that before I start uploading, because sometimes I'm going to think about it and I'll start uploading the picture. As soon as that picture gets uploaded and the website tries to hit that first time, it screws up the internals and won't let anything else work for some reason until I downgrade that picture. So that's one of the other reasons why I want to almost change, because most of the others seem to, when I've been testing, can take any size picture you give it and it will auto size. I mean, this one would the current one auto resizes the picture to fit within the confines of where you're showing it and whatnot. But if it's too large, it like flips out the RAM in the server or something. The other things didn't seem to have that problem when it went to do that converting and downsizing. So, but like I said, that's a lot of work to go through and move all that stuff over. Which, if I do, it'll probably be worth it. That's why I do it, if I feel like it, if it's going to be more worth it at the end of the day on the change. My biggest thing too is when I do those type things, it's hard to bring over the It's hard to bring over the user database. That people make converters out there, you know, if you're moving from one platform to the other, but they're all a little wanky, don't necessarily always work quite right. Even just the last time I did a major upgrade to my website with it using the same system, for some reason the user database got screwed up. And I did it all according to the way it was supposed to be done, so I don't know what happened, but I've had that kind of problem though within. I run a crunching website for a team that does bowing crunching. I've had problems with the software reviews there, so it's kind of, now granted, maybe it is all user error and I'm just an idiot. Who knows? I mean, I am not trained in web stuff. I just learn as I go. If I find something I want to do, I try to figure it out and learn about how to do it. It's kind of how I started learning about coding, was just, this is what I want to do, how do I do it? I'd go read up on it, figure out how to do it, and then do it. So maybe, like I said, could be all user error. I don't think it's necessarily that, but sometimes I come to find out after a while on some things it is, but that it partially could be just because there could be other things I could do to back up and do certain things a certain way that, you know, as an IT person would know, that I don't necessarily have a clue. I learn things as I go, but sometimes you have to learn the hard way. Like I said, hopefully we'll see what happens after. I want to get these tutorials out, but I really don't want to put them up if I'm going to change the website either, so I need to get that figured out here pretty soon too. Something I'll have to definitely think about this weekend. He still didn't open that door. That air conditioner must have shut off, because I am definitely getting warmer by the minute down here. And it's not super hot today, but it still got up there. It got warm enough. Basement should be a little bit cooler normally, but we have an open walkout basement, so it's not like a full enclosed normal cooler basement. So yeah, tomorrow I'm actually going to be doing a little bit of laser work tomorrow. There's a few things I want to test again. I did a few things Tuesday. I actually did a few. I didn't plan on doing anything, but I did want to test the viability of making sure my templates work properly for a small order. I was pretending like I got an order for 2 small double-sided tags. And so I used the template, threw in the graphic. One of the graphics I had already pre-made, so it fit no problem. The other one I had to do the normal walkthrough to get it to do its thing, and then throw them up and make sure that everything fit, everything worked well. So it was a quick, easy test. I plan on doing a similar-ish thing tomorrow, but I'm going to hopefully get a little more time in, because I want to do this bigger project I've been waiting to do on the new CO2 laser that I've been putting off. So now would probably be the time to do it if I'm going to do it, being that I'm trying to get it. All the events I could find in August had already closed down the registrations. So I have like a couple weeks to start figuring out the one for September if I want to do it. I've got 2 weeks to figure it out. The Gladfest one I have 3.5 weeks to figure out, so, and get all my information sent in and all that. So that's something I got to figure out here in the next couple weeks. I'm going to have to dig into the brain power. And I went to try to find out how much our local Renfest was running, because it's always been high. But one year I am going to do it, but now all that information, they totally changed up their website, and that all information is all gone. The only way to find it out is to contact them. So it's like, I don't want to go through that right now, because it's not something I want to do immediately. I'm just trying to get basic information again. Because again, that's the thing I had to put off because of doing the band stuff. It was something I was never going to be able to do. I'd looked at that information probably 4, maybe even 6 years ago, and got the basics then, but I never went back because I wasn't going to have time to do it or anything. So let's get this next bark count out. Where we at? We got 5 minutes left to an hour. I do want to stop the time because I need to get I want to make sure my kitty is going to eat again. She had that little bit she ate last time, but I've been a little concerned the last couple days with her eating, so I do want to try to get her going a little early. Well, just on time, I guess. I did get the kitchen done though, so that's a plus. I won't have too much to do later. My normal later. I start with the cat movements, get that done. I get the stream stuff fully start shutting down. By the time I get done with that, it's time to get Buzz his soft food and his shot ready, so I gotta go take care of that. Normally after that is when I clean the kitchen, get the last load done for the night, which I don't think I'm going to have a full load at the end of the night, so that should be a plus. So I'm hoping it's going to be kind of a light night when I'm done here, to a degree, other than just getting it going. I was really hoping we were going to get some rain earlier today, but it didn't. Got a little cloudy at one point, but didn't end up getting anything, which is fine, I guess, but got the mowing done, so it doesn't bug me too much, other than I'm already planning out next week's mowing time. I'm looking at the weather at the 10-day going, okay, this day is supposed to rain. I need at least a day and a half, depending on how much rain we get, before I can mow. So then I also I pick out the cool day. I don't want the hot day, so I'm trying to pick out the best day where it's going to be the coolest. Got Bruce too. Alright, seems awful light, but it's probably right. I overextended last time thinking I needed to go further, but maybe I didn't. So we're going to go ahead and finish this up. We've still got about 3 or 4 minutes left in the stream, but this shouldn't take but maybe 5, 6 at the most. So we'll finish up this row before we end tonight. I'll try to give it a stretch. Like I said, it's not really going to get a good stretch till we get about mid-nose, I think. Once we get to the nose area is when I can really start giving it a decent tug and show it off a little better. But we'll give it a quick try, see what happens tonight. Eventually I have to rearrange my upper rings here so that I get more room to slide this up as it keeps growing, because it'll take up more than the top of this desktop, just by a little bit. Not a ton more. Not a huge piece. Roughly the same size as, I think I'm actually just 2 rows and 1 column less on this one than the Mahomes inlay, portrait inlay. Not necessarily on purpose, but it was how I had to do it, because every time I tried to go to the exact size, it was throwing things off and not looking right. So I had to manually do some things to get it to work this way. But I did it enough where I can come in and add another top row and or a bottom row or two or one or 2, whichever way I decide to go, where it'll be more of just the random fill of what's currently there. There's no major definition piece in that, colors in that, so I made it so I can adjust it when I go to finally do everything together, because again, I don't know if I'm going to put borders around each piece yet, or I'm going to leave them as they are and just have, blend them together. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. I'll eventually know, because once I get a good chunk of the pieces together, I'm going to make a thing that can hold them all, not connected together, but hanging on their own individual rods, so I can kind of get a better overall view of what I'm looking for and how I might want to change anything up when it comes that time. Which is still going to be a while down the road. Like I said, this is piece 3 of, I've got 8 major pieces in it. So we've got 5 more major pieces. And I know of probably 2 small pieces and maybe another couple. I don't know yet. It kind of depends on what gaps I'm going to have, because I know there's some places where I'm going to have some open area that I'm going to have to put something in to fill, and if they're not too large, they might just be a solid color fill. But if they're big enough, I want to try to add a little something in there, be it championship years, Super Bowl win years. I don't know yet. It depends on how much room, because I've also thought about adding the number and a name below each one of the portraits, but that's just going to make the overall bigger. Do I want to do that necessarily? Because like I said, it's going to be already pretty big. I think when it's overall done, like I said, it's going to be close to 4 foot by 8 foot, I believe. And it's going to be almost too large. I'm still debating on. I didn't expect it to be, well, I knew it was going to be big, but I've never made these many big pieces together that I'm going to end up putting together for an overall piece. So we'll see how it goes, though. I mean, you're here to join in on my. See, why am I off again so bad? I'm going to have to double check that. We'll give it a quick stretch. Let's see this. 1, 2, 3. I'm off by 2. How did I get off by 2? I don't know what I am doing so badly here today. Let me see here. Where did we end about in the forehead area? We're coming back across. So it was a 3. There's a pink. So the pink should be over 1. So that means all these are going to be adjusted. This other pink. Yeah. Somewhere right here. I'll look at it closer. Brain doesn't want to operate like that right now. Somewhere right here, I've got one off, and it's thrown off all the ring. But then I probably have another one down here because I'm 2 off at the end. So I'm gonna have to double check this whole row again. The fun of inlays, to make them fun and work right. Like I said, we're gonna try to pull it together the best we can, because Mahomes, he only ends up about 19 inches wide. We can only hand stretch this down to about 21-ish, 22 sometimes, and make it look decent enough. But you can kind of start seeing the forehead there. And if I had a better background, but yeah, so we're right in here. We should be coming in the eyebrow here soon. I hope to really be past the end of the eyebrows when we come back next Thursday, to be honest with you. I'm hoping to anyway. Let's go ahead and get flipped over to our other camera. Go to the ugly face camera scene title thing. Yeah, there we go. But I do want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We've made our hour. Like I said, I could go up to an hour and a half. I just got a few other things I want to do tonight. I'm going to go turn on the air conditioner, to be completely honest. I am getting hot down here. It hadn't run almost all stream. It's just slowly been warming up all stream. But I mean, the air conditioner not running is a good thing unless it's broke, I guess. So, but anyway, I do thank you all for joining us tonight. If you join us live or if you're watching us later, don't forget to give thumbs up, likes, all those good things. If you made any purchases from us or anything in the past, please come to Facebook. Give us some reviews somewhere. I'm trying to pump those up because I get a lot of orders, but I don't get any really reviews. I don't want to pay for reviews, or not necessarily pay, but I don't want to, say, hey, I'll give you a discount if you give me a review type thing. I don't want to do that. I'd rather have, I'm asking for them, but I'd rather them be more generic from people. So And you can make multiple reviews if you bought multiple things. Talk about pieces, take some pictures. I'd love to see some pictures of people from items they've gotten from me. I don't get a whole lot of them. I've had a few people here and there send me a picture going, "Hey, got it. Let's put it on, took a picture of it." I love seeing those. I see my stuff all the time, but I love seeing it when customers get it and they're happy with it. That's always a good thrill for me. So, but otherwise, we will be back on Monday night. I hope y'all have a great weekend this weekend. Y'all be safe. Have fun, though. And we'll check you back out on Monday. Peace.